tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' till it's swollen, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies love you, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' till it's swollen, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies love you, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' till it's swollen, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Please forgive my tardiness. Okay, it's always something with me. I just cannot get on time, huh? Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, hello, Cookie, Claudette, True Blessings, Latasha, Desmond, okay, 57 Beige Spots, Mr. Elevation, Bookhorse DC, POP, aka the Prince of Paraphernalia. Let's get into it. 504 Nola, Leon, We the People. Okay, Chris B, I see you. Greta Lee, all right. Greta, thank you for your kind words, beloved. Greta said, I love this channel. Well, thank you. All right, so let's get it popping. DSB is here. All right. So shout out to all of my loyal Roys and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, songwriter Sonny. Okay, so now with that all been said, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Hello, Ashkan. And but also listen, for those of you who use 12 Tribes hair products, Lisa has everything, not everything, but she has a bundle on sale from today, starting today until the 7th, I believe. Okay, so please take advantage of the sale. All right, when you're re-ing up, okay, when you're restocking your products. Hey, Lady Painter. Okay, so with that all been said, let's have a brief word from my sponsor, and then we'll just get right into it. I see you, Pookie. What did Ashkan say? QST, Queen Standard Time. Ashkan, you are so nefarious, okay? Hey, Dina and DJ Big Six. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to talk about Karmelo first. Okay, so this was the third day of jury selection, and tomorrow they're going to start with the opening arguments. All right, so let's get into it. I'm also going to go to Queen Sheba's YouTube channel. Shout out to Queen Sheba. I met her when I was in New York at the Diddy trial. Now she's covering this, so we're going to go to her to get exclusive information. But let's just go to a couple of these clips that I found on TikTok. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
Respect and peace, that's us. Love, respect, 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 and peace, that's us.
All right, so as you can see, Carmelo's getting a lot of support. They're also saying that people have been wearing his favorite colors, which is purple. Okay, someone posted a picture of the judge the other day. It was a black woman, but that's not the judge. I don't know why they thought it was. Maybe they changed. I don't know, but they have a male judge at this point. I mean, not that it should matter. Either way, the judge should be fair, right?
Collin County Courthouse with hundreds of people answering questions from prosecutors and defense attorneys before a panel of 12 will be chosen, we're told, by the end of the day. We were also able to watch a live video feed of the voir dire process from near the jury room, along with other reporters and some members of the public. And when that video feed started just before 9, we saw the defendant, Karmelo Anthony, for the first time in a while. He was dressed in a blue suit, a pink dress shirt with a dark tie, and he had very short hair. He sat quietly facing the pool of prospective jurors. Prosecutors were the first at asking those prospective jurors questions, and those questions were about whether they may have formed any strong opinions based on what they had seen and read about this case. One prospective juror said she was an educator in Frisco, where the defendant and victim both attended separate schools. She told prosecutors and defense attorneys that that fact was close enough to home that she wasn't sure she could be completely fair. Another prospective juror, who is believed to be black, said he would have, quote, a hard time putting another brother in jail. One prospective juror said their judgment would be affected by the defendant's age or youth. In fact, a number of prospective jurors said that. Defense attorneys will get their turn this afternoon after this lunch break to question those who will be eventually selected and decide Karmelo Anthony's fate.
So what do you all think about that? So a black man said that he wouldn't want to put another brother in jail. What do y'all think about that? I find that interesting. Karmelo shouldn't be put in jail because Karmelo reacted in self-defense. I don't care what anyone says. I heard Officer Tatum with his raccoon and self. Okay, he was just talking crazy about Cyrus, not about Karmelo, but he was talking about Cyrus Carmack Belton and saying that he stole something and went in there with a gun and all of that. That's the narrative they painted. Anytime a black person has a gun, no matter what happens to you, they're going to keep talking about the fact that you didn't have a gun. And even if you didn't have a gun, they'll try to paint it as though you did. Okay, the police shoot a black person unarmed and say, oh, I thought their cell phone was the gun. Remember in the case of the guy from Ohio a few years ago where I reported on him and they said they thought his Subway sandwich was a gun? A Subway sandwich. Okay, yeah. This is what they say. Okay, please make it all make sense.
Action continues for the highly anticipated Karmelo Anthony trial. By the end of the day, the judge hopes to have 12 jurors and alternates, if everything goes as planned. But the judge specifically asked jurors about their social media use, their ability to remain impartial in a case that has drawn national attention. With that said, this case continues to draw strong reactions outside the courthouse.
These guys over here, they were supporting the one that was murdered. Mm-hmm. I'm more with them. They're over there supporting the murderer. And really, they don't care. They don't care what the facts are.
So prosecutors say the confrontation started when Metcalf asked.
Now, just pay attention. They had to cut him off because it's no telling what he said after that, okay? Please pay attention. And then here's the thing. I find it interesting that he's sitting there saying they're over there supporting a murderer. Isn't that what they always do? They support their murderers. And their murderers are usually in the wrong. It isn't self-defense, okay? Kyle Rittenhouse, for example, okay? They support people like that. Okay, please pay attention. They do it all the time, but when we show support, they want to talk trash. And I love how they tried to paint the narrative that the money donated to Karmelo was spent to purchase a home and a new truck. Okay, so how are they paying for their attorney's fees right now? Okay, please make it all make sense. But let's continue.
Anthony to move from underneath a team tent. According to police reports, Anthony allegedly responded by reaching into his bag and warning Metcalf, quote, "touch me and see what happens." Investigators say Metcalf then grabbed Anthony, and Anthony allegedly pulled out a knife and stabbed him once in the chest. Police say Metcalf was unarmed. Anthony has pleaded not guilty. If convicted, Karmelo Anthony could face a sentence ranging from 5 years to life in prison. Opening statements could begin as soon as Thursday. The trial could last as long as 2 weeks once testimony begins. So jury selection continues for the highly anticipated Karmelo.
So this is just so draining. Yes, he was the aggressor. You see how they glossed over that, though? What did he say? He said witnesses say, or they reports say that Austin grabbed him and then Melo pulled out a knife. First of all, he did more than grab him. That's for number one. But either way, and then they said Austin was unarmed. Okay, well, maybe he should have kept his hands to himself.
An overnight curfew takes effect at the Collin County Courthouse in less than an hour. This is as heightened security remains in place for the murder trial of Karmelo Anthony. The teen is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet in Frisco last year. NBC5's Meredith Yeomans was at the first day of jury selection.
Tight security.
Hold on, let me go in on D Major real quick. D Major says, Queen, will you invite Brandon Tatum on your show to school him? No, I will not. Why the hell would I invite him on here? He's a whole raccoon. I don't need to school him. He's already got the mind of a raccoon. What am I supposed to do with that? Try to convert him? He needs to stay over there where he is. He's down with MAGA. He can stay with MAGA. I don't dap raccoons. You heard my lyrics in the song. Okay, I don't talk to them. I don't dap them. I don't want anything to do with them. And if they do change their mind and stop being raccoons, that'll be someone else that gives them the work and gives them the knowledge, because I'm not the one. I don't have the patience, honey. Okay, absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. That would not go well, beloved. Now sit down somewhere. Let's continue.
And intense interest surrounded the first day of jury selection in the murder trial of Karmelo Anthony. Nearly 600 prospective jurors reported to the Collin County Courthouse Monday as jury selection got underway. Inside, Judge John Roach questioned prospective jurors about their news consumption, social media use, and whether they can keep an open mind.
It's emotional. It's no way around that.
Russell Wilson is a criminal defense attorney not involved with the case. He says questions about social media and pretrial publicity are especially important in a high-profile case like this.
The real issue is, have they already formed an opinion? Can they really keep their mind open to the facts?
Jurors were given a 3-page questionnaire that will be reviewed by attorneys and the court. While opening statements are still days away, Wilson expects self-defense to be a major issue in the case.
The law on use of deadly force or use of force in Texas, that the person has to believe that there's a reasonable fear of death or serious bodily injury. And I think in most self-defense cases, the dispute is regarding the reasonableness of the fear.
Judge Roach said testimony in the case will end no later than June 12th, with the trial expected to run from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. each day. Attorneys now face the task of narrowing hundreds of potential jurors down to 12.
There is no court Tuesday, but attorneys will work to whittle down the jury pool to about 250 people. The judge told potential jurors they will be notified after 5 o'clock Tuesday about whether they need to show up Wednesday morning. At the Collin County Courthouse, Meredith Yeomans, NBC5.
Now, with that all being said, the South is starting to get a bad rap when it comes to racism because this guy did a video, this black guy, and I guess he's from up north, but he was going in on black people down here in the South. He said, "What's wrong with y'all? I keep hearing all this stuff about the white folk, the Asians, and the Mexicans doing stuff to y'all. I never hear about y'all doing anything to them." Well, that's because we don't bother them. But clearly he wants us to do something. Okay, please pay attention. He was going in on us. All right. Now, with that all being said, let's go to Queen Sheba's report. Okay, let's go to Queen Sheba's report. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to have to use an overlay on this. Okay, because I haven't talked to her to get her permission. Even though I'm pretty sure she won't mind, but you never know. Okay, so that all being said, hold on just a moment. This overlay on here.
Challenges within the courthouse, so we did not get started on time day one, but I am live here back there. You can see the Collin County Courthouse, and actually today was day two, so they have gotten jury selections underway, and each side has 1 hour and 45.
Now, let me just say, she said this is day two, but this is day three of jury selection because jury selection started on Monday, didn't it? And yeah, it started on Monday. So, and then tomorrow's the opening statement. So with that being said, she posted this like 4 hours ago. Okay, let's get into it.
We're talking the state and also the defense. So the state went first this morning, and I want to talk a little bit about the prosecutor. He's good. When I tell you slick, clean, slick as grease, and I mean that in a very positive way. He's very likable. He's light on his feet. He's knowledgeable. He doesn't come across as authoritative. He does a really good job of navigating the jurors, answering the questions that they have. He just feels like a good next door guy, like an all-American guy. He's approachable. He smiles. He's not taking himself too serious. He found ways to really implement just a light tone to this very serious case, right? And he's doing a really good job of presenting himself. He's doing a really good job of managing his relationships with the jurors. So I think I believe the prosecution has gotten off to a really fantastic start. When I looked at the state and their team, you have the main prosecutor, and it looks like there's 4 people on the team from what I can see. The prosecutor himself, which would be 2 men and 2 women. The defense is going to have their 1 hour and 45 minutes after we come back from break. And from what I could see, the defense has 3 people. 1 man, which is the primary defense. 2 men and 1 woman. I did see Karmelo Anthony today. So let me tell you a little bit about Karmelo. And when I cover cases, I know you guys aren't able to be here in the courtroom. So what I would like to do is give you my view and give you my experience so that you can feel like you are here or you were here with me. So Karmelo is wearing a navy suit today, really nice blue navy suit. His hair is a clean cut haircut, okay? I think when this occurred, he had a different look, but he's a clean cut. He has on a nice soft pink shirt with the blue tie. Now, I'm not in the same courtroom because we're not allowed in there right now. So we're only watching it from like a television screen in an overflow room. He looks well-groomed. He seems very lean. I didn't see him when he stood up, but he seems to be a very lean young man. There were times he did smile when the prosecutor asked juror number 5, "Did you break the speed limit today?" So I did catch him smiling. But let's get into it. So, when I tell you, juror number 142 stated that he would not feel comfortable putting a brother in jail. Those were his exact words. He's saying, listen, there was a lot going on today with these jurors, but juror number 42, he kept it real. And he says, I don't think this is the proper case for me when we talk about fairness. What you're looking for is a fair jury pool. I don't feel comfortable putting a brother in jail. And this led to the prosecutor stating, listen, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about race. Nobody wants to be on this case, right? And race could affect or determine guilt versus innocence. And the prosecutor also stated that in his 31 years of being in law and prosecuting cases, this is his first time ever having this type of conversation with jurors, okay? And he said he's never had this talk before. And he says that it's probably the time to do it in America, to have, this type of conversation, because they need to know how the jurors are feeling about this. Could race play a part in this case? And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to remind you of some statistics. If this is your first time here with me, welcome. But when day one of the trial, I gave you the rundown. Collin County is predominantly 62% white. And the brother, juror number 142, said out loud, I don't feel comfortable locking Karmelo up, right? But then you had other white jurors that followed in his footsteps. Number 24, juror number 24, which was a white woman. She says, I can't do it. He's a kid. I'm looking at him. This is a child. This is what she's saying. She said, he made a mistake. He made a very bad decision. She said, I don't feel comfortable charging a kid and putting him away for life. I just couldn't do it. That's what she said. That was juror number 24.
Okay, this isn't good. Okay, this is not good to me. This is not a good sign, because it sounds to me like the people that may have been able to see it objectively or have some sort of empathy, those people are not going to be on the jury. It looks like it may be a bunch of racist people on there. Okay, it looks like that may be happening. And someone said in a video that there was 3 black men on Rick Chow's trial, on his jury, So there was 3 black men on his jury. And I'm like, what? I have to look into it, but let's keep going.
Juror number 198, juror number 199, they shared the same sentiment. Now, if you remember the other day, juror number 199 is the same juror that asked the judge, what happens if we can't agree? What happens if we go into deliberations and we're not able to agree? And remember, I told you, the judge said, you're not going to do that in my court. So then 199 comes back and says, well, you know what? Don't pick me. This is just not a good week for me. So the prosecutor takes over. They're giving the jurors an opportunity to ask questions, to speak to why they would or would not make a great juror, or why they should or should not be selected. And the prosecutor explained there's 2 phases, right? There's a guilt and innocence phase. And he said, I kind of like to explain it like a snapshot. Your job is to figure out or to determine, did the state prove that this person committed the crime? That's it. In that phase, in the guilt and innocence phase. That's your only job, not the details. Did the state prove that the person, the defendant, commit the crime? He said, then we have the punishment phase, right? That's the photo op. That's where you get the full scope of everything. Who is this person? What is their background? How were they raised? Any trauma, school? Do they have a history of violence? That's when we really get into the details of who they are, right? And in the state of Texas, the punishment phase is 5 to 99 years, but it seems like Collin County, they're asking for 20 years, okay? But there was a lot of conversation today regarding life. Can you consider issuing a life sentence, which takes us to juror number 105. Juror number 105 says, I don't know if I'll be able to sleep well at night being on this case. I have to do what would lead to me being able to have a good night's rest. And I can't promise you that I would be able to make a decision where I can lay my head down and feel good about what I've done. Okay. So then she says, can you tell me or give me the definition of beyond a reasonable doubt? The prosecutor says, we don't do that. We cannot tell you that. The state cannot define that for you. As a juror, you have the freedom. As a critical thinker, you have to be able to determine that yourself. By law, we cannot give you the definition of that. So then juror number 142, let's see. Okay, so juror number 142, this was a very, oh, no, not 142. I think it was juror number 41 that says, well, let's talk about race since we're talking about race. And this was a white woman. She says you have to admit that race does play a critical role in the severity of the punishment. So even if we try to take race off the table, it's still on the table. And I think what she was insinuating, she's saying, listen, we're all savvy enough to know that different races receive different punishment based on the color of their skin. And these are, like I said, these are the constituents of this community in Collin County. Again, 62% white. And I think when I say, I'm talking about the entire community, right? So we had over 600 jurors, potential jurors to show up. They were able to eliminate 100 the other day. They're down to 500. So what the judge wants to do is trim it down to half of that. And these people are cutting out the box. They're not holding back. Now, some of it, you can tell that they just do not want to be here. One person said, listen, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be on this case. And the prosecutor said, nobody wants to be on this case. And we understand that, you know. The prosecutor, he talks about moral decisions. And he said, can you promise me that you be able to make a decision, the correct decision, from a moral standpoint? He said, I understand you don't want to be on the case, but can you, if you had to go in there and make a decision morally, could you do that? And 41 says, this is not the right case for me. I can't do that for you. Okay. So 237 is a white woman who's a teacher here in Collin County. She said, listen, I'm an educator. And I believe that you have to be able to separate the behavior from the person. You know, I think she was saying the behavior from the race, but that's what she said. That's what I wrote down. My notes could be wrong, but I think I'm pretty accurate. And then number 34 told number 34, who's a woman, she said, listen, I have sons. I have always told my sons to defend themselves. So I don't think I'm the right person for this. She says, I have 2 sons. I've raised them well, but you best believe I always tell them, you have to defend yourself. And she said, now I don't want them using knives or guns. And the courtroom erupted in laughter. But she said, I have always had that talk with my sons. You must defend yourself if you're ever in that type of position. So then the prosecutor transitions to self-defense. What constitutes self-defense in the state of Texas? This is very interesting. What he did share is that self-defense. Let me get my other note. I want to make sure I'm on track. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I think I may have left it in a courtroom. He's saying you have no other choice but to use deadly force. That's what the state of Texas constitutes as self-defense. Self-defense means I had no other choice. This was the only option. Okay. And he says, words alone do not warrant self-defense. You cannot provoke a person and then use deadly force and say, hey, I was defending myself. He said that does not constitute as self-defense in Texas. You cannot provoke and then take a life. You can't say, hey, come over here. Your mom is this and that. And so basically what he's saying is, I believe that Karmelo Anthony's self-defense stance is flawed because I'm guessing they're going to get into the details of the case a little bit later, that they're going to poke holes in that theory. He says, in order to justify the legality of self-defense, you cannot be a provoker. You cannot be a provoker at all. So I believe the state is asking, I have my notes here, for 20 years. In the state of Texas, they do receive a wide range of the ask, which is 5 to 99. They can ask anywhere between 5 to 99. And when I tell you, there were a lot of jurors that straight up, they said, I can't consider life. A white woman, juror number 32 said, I cannot consider life. Juror number 42 says, listen, this is a kid. He looks like a kid. He says he needs an opportunity to learn. I can't send him to prison for life. There was a lot of that today. Juror number 42, juror number 32 was a white man. Juror number 42 is a white woman that says, I want him to learn, but I don't think sending him to prison for the rest of his life will give him the opportunity. That is a kid. Then we had another juror, and he says, how old is he? That's exactly what he says to the prosecutor. He said, excuse me, how old is he? And the prosecutor says, sir, I can't tell you that. He said, well, he looks like a kid to me. I'm not the right person for this case. Juror number 92, juror number 123 says, I will not deliberate. Don't pick me. If I go back there, I refuse to participate. Juror number 232, juror number 169 says they cannot issue punishment. Even if they were selected, they don't feel good sending him to prison, okay? And then we had a teacher, number 100. She says, I don't think people understand, proportionality. She said, it's gonna be so important for you to get critical thinkers in that deliberation room. You can't just be putting people back there. This is bigger than just white and black. She didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. She said, proportionality is so important. She says, this is a kid. We have so many things to consider. We have to consider background. We have to consider trauma. We have to consider, are kids even able to be reasonable, right? And think like adults. She says, I can consider both ends, but you need other people in the room that can also do the same. She says, so they go, well, if we were to select you, are you saying you could be fair? She's saying, yes, I could be fair, but I don't think everybody else could be. Not in those words, but paraphrasing, right? Juror number 129, who was also a white woman, says, I would have a hard time giving Karmelo Anthony 5 years. She said it would be hard for me to even give him 5 years. Juror number 256 says, well, I could punish him, but I would probably lean to the lower side of the punishment. And the prosecutor says, does that mean you can't consider life, or is it off the table? Juror number 256 responded, he's a kid. Life is off the table for me. Y'all, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I thought I had it figured out. I thought I'm bad. What are your thoughts? So we're almost done. Juror number 350 says, who was a white male, he said, and I think he was just trying to get out of jury duty. He says, I'm not considering any range of punishment, period. Juror 350 also asked the state, can you clarify life? And the state says, in this situation, we're talking life with the possibility of parole. Juror number 319 says he cannot, or they could not consider life. That's reserved for hardened criminals. He doesn't believe Karmelo Anthony is a hardened criminal. Juror number 296, this is the final one, says, what if it was in the heat of the moment? What if a crime is committed in the heat of the moment, to which the prosecutor responded, well, in the state of Texas, in order for it to be considered the heat of the moment, that means that person would have had absolutely no time to cool off, right? And then he used an example of a case that he said that recently has been tried in the state of Texas, where a father walked into a barn and witnessed his ranch hand molesting his daughter, and he killed the ranch hand in the heat of the moment. He said that's an example of the heat of the moment. That's an example of when punishment goes from 20 years to 2 years. Okay. So that's all I have right now. This is the first half of the morning. I'm going to come back and let you know how jury selections continue as the defense team takes the floor with their 1 hour and 45 minutes. Got it?
All right. So what do you all think? What do you all think? It's not looking good so far, as far as I'm concerned. Now, she said that the prosecutor is coming off very likable, okay, to the jury specifically. And by the fact that they say specifically that the Texas law on self-defense or stand your ground, I think it was self-defense, they said that you have to feel that you're in danger, like, your life could be taken, okay, or seriously injured. Now that's going to be the thing right there that the defense may have an issue with, because some people may feel like, why would he think that his life was in danger when Austin wasn't armed? But they keep ignoring the fact that Austin's brother was supposedly engaged in this too. Now, was that even true? Because that's what we heard when this all first happened. That's what they were saying when it all first happened. Because if you remember, I said his brother should have been arrested too, because he was involved in it. Marie said, no, the prosecutor is determined to get a win. Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Anyway, with that all been said, I just hope that he doesn't get convicted, but I don't think it's going to turn out the way we hope. I don't think so at all. Okay, so now let's talk about Rick Chow, because as I said, people are, really upset about what happened with this verdict of not guilty. First, I'm going to go to this video of this black guy going in on all of us down here in the South, because, we're not, I guess he seems to think we're not fighting back. Mr. Elevation said, I hope he has a great lawyer. I hope he does too. I hope he does too. Too bad he doesn't have Diddy money. He could have absolutely gotten a great lawyer then. Like, so everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Man, I'm so motherfucking mad about this little boy Cyrus and that Chow shit. I'm not pissed off about the verdict. I already knew he was going to be found not guilty. I'm mad at you motherfucking black people down there in North Carolina, South Carolina. Where the fuck it happened there? Are y'all afraid of other races of people? Are y'all afraid of these white people, Mexican people, Chinese people, Asian people? Are y'all afraid of these motherfuckers? Every goddamn time I look on this app, they doing something to y'all ass. In the South, they always doing something to y'all black ass in the motherfucking South. Are y'all afraid of these fucking people?
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? He's going in, okay? D Major says, I hope he doesn't get to the point of being convicted for this. If the evidence leads to what we're thinking, he should not be found guilty of nefarious leaks. Let me tell you something, honey. At this point, if we saw how Rick Chow got off, there's no telling how this could all turn out, beloved. Okay, we know how it should go, but we still can't figure out how in the world Rick Chow got off. Okay, we can't figure that out. All right, I have several questions.
We ain't have no reports of no black motherfucker doing shit to a white person, an Asian person, any other race of people down there in the South. Or y'all afraid of these people? Huh? That's what I don't understand. Every fucking month, they hanging y'all ass, they burying y'all ass behind police stations. Police kidnapping y'all ass and doing shit to y'all ass. What the fuck is going on in the South? All you big cornbread eating ass niggas down there, y'all are afraid of these motherfucking white people? Y'all afraid of these Asian, all of these fucking people down there beating the shit out of y'all ass, and y'all ain't doing nothing. What the fuck? Y'all not
Letting us have it. Do y'all hear it? And then he said these big cornbread eating MFs. What do y'all have to say for yourselves, people down here in the South? What do y'all have to say? Desmond said, I'm not from the South. Desmond, sit down, okay? Sit down somewhere. Greta said he's really going in. And then Tommy said he's right, though. I mean, hey, I guess he is. Listen, I'm not going to play the rest of it because I don't want him. I can't remember what all he said, and I don't need any copyright issues, okay? I mean, community guideline issues. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, y'all heard the man. He's letting us have it. So let's go to what some people are saying on TikTok. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Oh, hold on, because here's a video about Karmelo. Now, this dude right here, he's clearly a raccoon because he says Karmelo's going to jail and that he needs to go. Shoshana said she agrees with it. I mean, I didn't see any lies either.
Win the election in LA. I don't know who's going to win the championship in the NBA. I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl next year. But I know one thing. Carmelo Anthony's motherfucking ass going to jail. 100%, 120%. And anybody who's ever been to court, whoever knows anybody who went to court and tried to take some bullshit to trial, you know it too. Because if he was my brother, I'd be like, bro, you're not taking this shit to trial. Like what, bro? They're just trying to politicize it. They're trying to use it to fit an agenda. So even when you get convicted, they can sit back and be like, damn, free him. But when they're yelling free you, you'll be in jail forever because you shouldn't have done what you did to Austin Metcalf. It's period. You shouldn't have done it. You could have fought him. If you was a bitch, you should have went and told somebody, or you could have left. You guys have to understand drawing a weapon and trying to take somebody's, like, you're a kid, bro. This is not an option. The nigga going to jail.
First of all, he sounds so ridiculous. Okay, does he even know the whole story? Because it doesn't sound like it. Okay, it just doesn't sound like it. He sounds like he's clearly misinformed. Okay, let's go to the next clip. That's right. It was 2 against 1. Okay, and they were twice as big as him. Okay, please pay attention. That's why I'm like, does he even know what he's talking about?
You'll remember Carmelo Anthony was the Frisco, Texas teenager who at a track meet stabbed another high school track star, Austin Metcalf, killed him. In the wake of that, Carmelo Anthony's black, Austin Metcalf was white. The family raised $600,000 in donations. It immediately became a national race story. And it's just kind of hard because it's a criminal story, right? I mean, it's got facts, it's got circumstances. You can add it up. The race of the 2 individuals involved do not matter to the facts of the case. And yet it becomes a story through the lens of race nationally. Maybe there was racial tension between those 2 guys. We don't know what was said, but it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't change the outcome of the case. My friend who's a defense attorney was on the Will Cain show, and he's like, inside that courtroom, race will not play a role. Like, it doesn't matter to the facts of the case.
It will, though. I mean,
you'll remember.
I'm sorry, but his friend is lying. If his friend said inside the courtroom, race is not going to matter, listen, race always matters inside the courtroom. Now, it isn't supposed to because they say justice is blind, but that's a darn lie. Okay, justice is absolutely not blind. And that's just a fact. Okay, that's just a fact. The race is absolutely going to be front and center stage. Okay, please pay attention. Now, let's talk about this Rick Chow situation because, like I told you all, people are upset about it. People outside protesting and everything.
Year-old boy running away from and take no. They took this young man's life, Cyrus, over nothing. He didn't take no dollar bottle water, as they say. Oh, they would a dollar bottle water. They took his life. He didn't take nothing. He was respectful the whole time and just left the store. He probably picked up on bad vibes. And these two men pursued him and hunted him like an animal, right? It's a 14-year-old boy running away from two grown-ass men. Right? It's no different than Ahmaud Arbery when they hunted down Ahmaud Arbery. That's why I say Andy should be on trial with his father. There should be a separate trial. Both of these people should be charged because they intentionally hunted him down. And this is not Rick Chow first pew-pewing. One time he pewed somebody in the leg and he pewed at a moving vehicle. Same store. So I wonder why they're not charging the son, because he's part of this too. He hunted Cyrus down. And you know what's crazy? You know what's dirty about the Chow family? This is their lawyer, Sean Kent. They hired him just because he's black. Look, we're not racist, guys. We got a black attorney. And shame on Sean Kent. I'm sorry, especially in a case like this where this is open, closed case. This boy, they pew-pewed this boy in the back. He was running away from y'all. And he empty. You seen him emptying his hoodie or whatever, that sweater he had on, to let you know I didn't take anything. I just wanted to leave. And these people have no remorse. No remorse, man. Columbia, South Carolina, I think this is where this at. I will not support shells at all. That will go out of business, especially being, a black American. Like, what are we talking about? But yeah, justice for Cyrus, and I hope they get Andy too.
They're not going to do anything to Andy. And here's the thing. Now I want you all to think about it. If that had been a black man and his son chasing down anyone of any other race, they would have both been on trial. Okay? They would have both been on trial. Now, at the end of the day, they didn't include his son in it, even though his son was directly involved and someone lost their life. And the same thing goes for Austin Metcalf and the Karmelo Anthony story, because Austin Metcalf's brother was absolutely involved in it, according to witnesses. So he should have been arrested the same day that Karmelo Anthony was, because the law says that if you're engaged in a crime or whatever, and somebody loses their life, even if you didn't take their life, you're supposed to be charged too. Just like those thugs that insurrected at the Capitol. Okay, all of them should have gotten murder charges because people died there. But they don't ever do that when it's a white person. I want you all to pay attention, because if you also remember the case of the two police officers, one black and one Hispanic, when they were chasing the white guy, he had a 6-year-old son in the back seat. The cops didn't know it. And when they blocked him in, they were firing at him, and the son accidentally got killed. Okay, do you all remember that? And both of those cops went to jail. Okay, both of them went to prison. Now, had they been white cops, would they have gone to prison? I seriously doubt it. Now, let's go back to this moment when Rick Chow's son was on the stand. And I think this may be when they asked him the cost or the price of a bottle of water.
You don't even know there's a you stay in the gas station. That's you don't know he's got a gun if you stay put in the Shell gas station, correct? You were talking about momentum?
Yes, sir.
So it's something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Did that seem impossible?
No, sir.
Who put you and your father in that position? Who put you and your father at that location on Spring Tree Drive?
I put myself there.
Okay. Who put your dad there? Did you drag him along? Did anybody make your dad go up the hill 130 yards from your store, leaving the cash register unmanned? Who made him go up there 130 yards away?
Can I say what he?
Who made him go up there?
I don't know if I can.
I'm asking you a very. Did you make him go up there?
I myself did not make him go.
Was he up there against his will? Did somebody drag your dad from his office all the way up that road to where Cyrus Carmack Belton?
No, sir.
He ran himself up there, did he not?
That's what I would have seen, yes, sir.
Is there a reason you can't answer my question with a yes or no? I mean,
Because I was told I can't testify for someone else or say.
you could say everything you saw and you know to be true. Did you have any reason to believe that your dad was up there against his will?
No, sir.
Okay. He voluntarily ran up Springtree Drive to where Cyrus Carmack Belton was shot, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And nobody stopped him from calling 911, to your knowledge.
No, sir.
It doesn't happen if everybody stays in the Shell gas station that day, correct?
Everyone? Yes, sir.
It doesn't happen, correct?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't happen if Cyrus doesn't feel good either, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
See his reluctance to answer the questions. And you know, I did my research, just looked it up a few minutes before I started. I mean, while you all were watching Queen Sheba's video, now because someone said there were 3 black men on the jury. Well, I looked it up and they're actually, according to what I looked up, let me just do it again. They said there were 7 black people on that jury. Okay, now it says 5. There were 5 black jurors on the Rick Chow jury. Okay, the 12-person panel was made up of 3 black men and 2 black women, along with 3 white women and 2 white men, and 2 jurors of other backgrounds. So you mean to tell me they had 5 black people on the jury against Rick Chow, and he got off? How's that possible? What did they see in the evidence that we didn't see? What did they see in the evidence that we didn't see? I find that very interesting. Okay, they have to be raccoons, honey. They absolutely have to be raccoons, period.
And a lot of sorrow, man. That young man had a gun on him, yes, sure, but he not only was he right because he didn't steal the water, he still walked away knowing that he had something that could have protected himself. For him to have the sense to still walk away, that man would have been bright, you know what I'm saying? That man would have been something special about that man, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like something was taken from us as a community.
This baby died. He lost his life. And the verdict itself, hearing that mother cry as a mother with 3 children, I don't understand why there are so many Richland County police deputies out here.
I think the prosecution failed us because they should have added on the lesser charge, and manslaughter should have also been on the table.
Now, let me tell you all something. There it is right there. I just figured out what it is. Here's why the jury ruled the way they did. Now, as I'm thinking about it, because there were no lesser charges. Are you all paying attention? Now, with the Karmelo Anthony case, I told you that they specifically, in my opinion, charged Karmelo with first-degree murder to make sure that he gets something, because they know he didn't commit first-degree murder. It was not premeditated. He wasn't lying in wait. So they know the jury is not going to convict him on that 9 times out of 10, especially when the judge gives the instructions for for them to make their decision. So they have lesser charges on there. They have second-degree murder, and then they have manslaughter. Voluntary or involuntary, okay? Now, in the case of Rick Chow, they had no lesser charges. So they could only find him guilty of murder. Do you all see that? So the jury probably had doubts, because remember, they don't know he shot other people. They don't know anything about that. That wasn't allowed to be admitted into evidence because they felt that it would prejudice the jury. So with that all being said, the jury was likely thinking that he didn't plan to do this, that he didn't intend to do this, or maybe they thought he possibly could, but they didn't know for sure. And if you have a reasonable doubt, that's probably exactly what happened. Because by the fact that the son was saying, oh, he pulled a gun and the barrel was pointed right at me, And then that looks like that's why the father shot him. And they're probably thinking, well, if he didn't do that, maybe the father wouldn't have shot him. Now, mind you, witnesses said they never saw him pull a gun. They never saw any of that. And I don't believe it either, because at the time this supposedly happened, he was shot in the back. Okay, so how is that even possible, for number one? But also the son testified, if I'm not mistaken, that Cyrus fell. Okay, and that's when he pointed the gun at him. Now, if Cyrus wanted to shoot him or either of them, why didn't he just pull the gun out when they first came out of the store rather than running? It's obvious to me he didn't want to hurt anybody. But nonetheless, I think that's why he got off. In fact, I know that's why he got off, because there was no lesser charges. And the jury just didn't think that he planned to kill him, that when he ran out there chasing him, that he actually was intending to kill him. But I think that he was. And I think that they just made up the lie about the son saying he's got a gun. I think the son said that just so they would have an excuse to say self-defense. Okay, I think he full on intended to shoot that young man and kill him. Because guess what? That's the same thing he did to the other two people. Neither of the times did he call the police until after he shot them. Okay, but let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, here is the attorney speaking after the case. The family's attorney.
Wrong, who is shot in his back, how that jury can justify that verdict. I've been practicing law for almost 30 years. I've never seen anything like this. I don't understand it. I'm at a loss to explain it to his father, Troy, standing beside me. I'm at a loss to explain it to his mother, who couldn't take it and had to leave. I'm at a loss to explain it to his family, because I too don't understand it. I've talked to the sheriff tonight. We all asked for calm. We all asked that everybody make sure that we celebrate Cyrus's life. We make sure that his legacy continues like his life did. He ran away and he got shot in the back. Shouldn't have happened. Anger is palpable tonight. You can feel it, you can touch it, because people saw a child that looked like their own, that did nothing wrong. A child that all the witnesses described had fear in his eyes when he left the store. And then he started to run as two grown men chased him down over a football field. Got him dead. This should not happen. This makes us feel as if our children don't matter.
That was the attorney representing Cyrus Carmack Belton's family in his civil lawsuit. He did state that they are moving forward with the civil lawsuit, and that one way or another, Rick Chow will pay for what he did to 14-year-old Cyrus. If you have not been following this case, Rick Chow was just found not guilty of murder, even though we now know that 14-year-old Cyrus did not take anything from the store. He was essentially hunted down by Rick Chow and his son. They ran after him saying, we thought he stole something. Come to find out he didn't. He tripped and he fell after running 130 yards. Apparently, when he fell, his gun fell out. He did have a firearm, and the son of the gas station, the owner of the gas station, stated that in that moment, Cyrus turned around and aimed it at him, and that is why his dad shot him. Multiple witnesses stated that was not the case. They saw what transpired and that he never had anything in his hand. It may have just fallen out, but he was unable to react because of the fall that he took. They essentially shot him as he was getting up. I will keep you guys updated on any of.
Now, they shot him in the back as he was getting up. Okay? Shot him in the back as he was getting up. So how was he a danger or a threat? He wasn't. Okay? He wasn't. This is all bull crap. And the black people on that jury should be ashamed of themselves. Okay? Because no matter what instructions they were given, I would have given him murder before I just let him get off scot-free. Okay, I would have been the holdout jury, because you're going to have to explain to me so it makes sense why in the hell you were chasing him anyway for that lengthy distance. Okay? Why were you chasing him for that far? You don't get to be the aggressor in my book and then all of a sudden play the victim. That's what you don't get to do. Y'all black people need to start signing up for jury duty, okay, when they call you for it, because I am. I promise you that. Natasha said, oh, he had a gun. Yes, he had a gun, so they say. But the bottom line is whether he had a gun or not is irrelevant because he never used it. And even though the son said that he pulled it, nobody else who saw it said that. Okay, nobody else who saw it said that. And I don't believe him either because, like I said, if he wanted to pull the gun, he could have easily pulled it in the first place and he wouldn't have had to do all that running. He was running out of fear. And I also agree with what that first guy said. The light-skinned guy in the video that said it was like Ahmaud Arbery, it absolutely was. But he also said that Cyrus took out the waters and then he put them back. He said it's like he got a bad vibe. I was thinking the same thing. It's like something came over him, like he just didn't want to be there, or like he felt like something maybe was going to happen. And I think that had a lot to do with why he took off running so quickly after they came out of that store. I think he probably felt like something bad was going to happen. Okay, got some sort of bad vibe. I absolutely agree with him. That's just what I was thinking last night. Okay, let's continue. Ex-gas station owner's lawyer speaks out after not guilty verdict.
I feel sorry for the family. As I said during my opening statement, my heart goes out to them, but 14-year-old kids should not be roaming the streets of Columbia or South Carolina with semi-automatic pistols loaded and ready to fire. Well, I think the difference was this. Andy Chow was following him out of the store and down the street. We always took the position that Rick Chow, the defendant, that was not his objective. His objective was he was going to protect his son, and that's what happened. So we tried to separate the two different issues. One from Andy Chow, who was following him down the street. There'll be a discharge issued, and we expect that he'll be released sometime tonight. It may be a couple of hours, but he'll be released tonight.
How is he feeling about
Okay, so that's a good point. So what they were doing was painting the narrative that the father wasn't actually pursuing him, that the father was just pursuing his son to protect him. Well, here's an idea. If the father saw his son chasing him, why didn't the father just call his son and say, Andy, get back here? We'll just call the police. Why didn't he do that? Okay, don't try to act like they weren't both pursuing him. They both were. And the father brought a gun. They should be wondering, why didn't they ask the question, why did the father leave the store with his gun? Why did he have a gun on him? They want to know why Cyrus had a gun, but Cyrus didn't use his gun. Okay, and clearly he had the gun and he quite frankly needed it, in my opinion, because look what happened. So with that all being said, why did they ask Rick Chow or his son, because Rick Chow didn't testify, but why did they ask his son, well, why did your dad have a gun with him? Okay, if he was just coming to protect you, why didn't he call you back into the store? Why didn't he just tell you not to go after him, not to pursue him? But he wasn't going to tell his son not to pursue him because that's what they always do. He pursued that black woman that he accused of stealing beer nuts and beer or something like that. He shot at her car 6 times. Okay. It's all crazy. Ashkan said the father made an extra stop to grab the gun. Exactly. He could have easily picked up the phone and called 911. Like, this is all just such a shame. But let's continue. Such a darn shame.
Relieved. I mean, this has been an ordeal for the family, both families. I mean, there's no joy about the suffering of the other family, but Mr. Chow and his family, and we've had a lot of contact with him and his wife and his 2 boys, and they've suffered as well during the last couple of years. And it's been very traumatic to them. And
please.
They didn't know what the end result was going to be. They did not prevail at the stand your ground hearing, so that obviously added some additional pressure. But now he's free to go and do whatever he's going to do. They sold the gas station, so that's not the option anymore. My heart goes out to them. I know I can't imagine what they're going through or what they have been through, losing a son. I can't, as a parent myself, I cannot imagine any more pain, more difficult than that. So I feel for them. I really do, because they didn't do anything. They didn't bring on the suffering themselves.
Their son didn't either.
Something that their son put them into, and young people need to learn that you can't walk around the city carrying semi-automatic weapons.
See, that's the narrative. That is the narrative. that he was walking around with a gun. But to me, that's irrelevance. Okay, because they should have never chased him. Even if the son wants to say that Cyrus pulled a gun on him, at that point, he had a right to. You know why he had a right to at that point? Because y'all are chasing him with a gun. Y'all are chasing him, and your father had a damn gun. So if Cyrus had pulled the gun out, that would have been justified as far as I'm concerned. Okay? See how it makes no sense? These people are something else, honey. They are a piece of work. Let me tell y'all something, black people. You better not go and support any of these damn Asian stores. You better not go get your nails done, go in their beauty supply, go in their food. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I see any of y'all black behinds in any of these stores, I don't care where you are, who you are, I'm recording you and putting you on blast, and I'm going to drag you all over these internet streets. Okay? If I see any black person, we all need to do it. Shame any black person you see in any of those stores. I don't care who they are. Period. I'm recording. I'm pulling out my phone. I don't even record people, but I'm going to record you that day. Okay? I'm going to record you that day. Please pay attention, but let's continue.
Loaded. Look what happened. If he didn't have a gun, this would not have happened.
Now, he can sit there and say if he didn't have a gun, this would not have happened. But the bottom line is, if they had not left the store and chased him, this would not have happened. If they had looked at the surveillance video footage, this would not have happened. Because they claimed they thought he stole water, right? But he didn't steal any water. Okay, so had they done their due diligence, none of this would have happened. Don't blame it on Cyrus. But see, this is what they keep doing. This is what they continuously do. It's so annoying. Okay, let's
the laws
continue.
we kind of learn in law school is a but for and everything, and but for him having the weapon, this would not have happened.
That's lies.
Anybody else?
That's lies with your old ass. First of all, like I said, they were in the wrong.
Now,
period.
I mean, the state cannot appeal on a not guilty verdict, so it's final as far.
Yeah, you can't appeal that. It's a done deal. It's something called double jeopardy. So they're not going to try him again. It is what it is. Not guilty, period. Ooh, I wish the worst on Rick Chow and his whole family. I promise you, I do.
Black business. Drop it in the comments and share this fucking video, because at this point we have to start using our fucking emotional intelligence. Don't let this shit start no race war amongst us. We don't give a fuck. They don't like us. I'm talking to the Chinese, I'm talking to the Indian, I'm talking to all you motherfuckers. I'm pro-black, which means I'm against anybody who's against black people. If you don't like it, get the fuck off my page. I said what the fuck I said. I have a 6-year-old that is 52 inches. At age 6, he's going to be huge. Anybody can mistake him. He's autistic. They can mistake him for being aggressive at any time, and they like to use that shit. The facts of the case is they charge him with murder, which they should have charged him with a lesser charge. But why would they charge him with a lesser charge? Y'all got to understand, the prosecution knew exactly what the fuck the outcome was going to be. Because when you charge somebody with first-degree murder, it has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Unfortunately, the 14-year-old did have a gun on him, even though, no, he did not point the gun at anybody. They used the fact that, let's say he stole a bottle of water, and they said that he pointed the gun. So beyond reasonable doubt, you can't get a first-degree murder verdict. It is what it is. But the prosecution knew that when they charged him with first-degree. They should have had some type of lesser involuntary manslaughter, second degree, anything else. They already knew. Y'all got to understand the fucking game that they playing with black people. Being black in America, you don't have the same rights. It just is what it is. But y'all have control over this. Stop taking y'all ass up in them motherfucking people's establishments. And when I say all of them, I'm talking about every last motherfucking one of them. Chinese,
Exactly.
Asian, food stores, hair stores, Indian, gas station. It's people that own black shit. And I know it's some things that we may not be able to get to buy black, but if you start making sure your money majority goes black, you will see how important your fucking spending dollar is. Stop taking your ass in that motherfucking gas station. We already learned how to do our own nails. Remember I taught y'all how to do your own nails. There are black women who have hair vendors. There are black women who go straight to the source. You can find them. It is okay. It is okay to not give them people your money and show them what our power really is. But y'all won't do it because y'all not mad enough. How many of y'all motherfuckers walk around with illegal weapons on y'all on a daily fucking basis out of fear of somebody doing something to you? You might have to defend yourself. He did not do anything to them for them to chase him down. He ran out of his clothes, his shoes. He fell. He dropped his phone. He dropped everything he had, running for his fucking life. 14 years old, running from 2 grown ass men because they saying he stole a bottle of motherfucking water. Are y'all cool? Y'all ain't really mad. Y'all fake fucking mad because it ain't your child. Any black person with an autistic child, y'all should be pissed because the way that our children are, they fucking lack emotional intelligence sometimes. The fuck, so somebody gonna fucking shoot them in the back behind a bottle of water? And y'all all right with it? Y'all better start shutting their business down. Stop buying their shit. It's simple, because y'all still gonna take y'all black ass up in their shit. Y'all gonna still take y'all black ass up in their hair stores. Y'all still gonna take y'all black ass up in their nail salons. Like you can't search in your motherfucking Instagram search bar and find a black person that do it. Y'all ain't pro-black? The fuck? I don't give a fuck how you feel because you not living a black experience in America. I said what the fuck I said. Show them you really mad. How mad are you for real? Because it could be your child. Trust, especially if your child autistic, especially if you got an autistic black boy in America. If you have a black.
Now, was he autistic? Because why does she keep bringing that up? Was Cyrus autistic? And let me say this too. She's absolutely right because these stupid black women, let me tell you something. There's a lot of ignorant black women. Like I told you all, and I'm still ticked off about it. That time that Asian owner of that beauty supply store in Oklahoma punched that woman in her mouth and split her lip. And those black men told them not to go in there and to boycott them. When the guy that owned the store reduced the price of their weave, they went right back in there. Okay? They went right back in there. They like wrapped a line around the building. Okay, please pay attention. Nobody has time for that. Like I'm telling you, I'm going to embarrass the hell out of you. Okay, and I hope you try to talk trash when I record you because you can't talk trash better than I can. I promise you that. Somebody's going to be embarrassed. Just let me see it. Okay, I promise you. I better not see any black women in those nail salons, in the beauty supply area. Let me see you walking in if you want to. I'm going to follow you right there with my camera, talking trash. By the time I get done, they're going to put both of us out, me and you. Okay, I'm going to see to it.
Third shooting. The jury didn't get to know that, but I'm going to make sure that you know about the two previous shootings before Rick Chow was found not guilty for taking the life of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton. 2015, a woman stole beer and peanuts. Chow says that she then threatened his life and then she got in a vehicle, so he shot at that vehicle 6 times. Now, thank goodness no one was hurt, but Chow was not charged. Investigators called it self-defense. The second time was in 2018. A man stole oven cleaner. Chow says that that man then assaulted him, so he shot him twice. No charges. Self-defense. The man who stole the oven cleaner, though, he was charged in connection with that case. And then we get to 2023. That's when 14-year-old Cyrus went into a convenience store owned by Rick Chow. Chow said that he stole water. Surveillance video showed that he did not. Cyrus ran from that store, and he ran so hard during the 130-yard chase where Rick Chow was chasing him with a weapon and with his son. Cyrus, this child, ran so fast that he ran out of one of his shoes and his belongings fell out of his pocket, including a weapon. And then he was shot in the back as he was running away. Chow and his son said that Cyrus pointed that weapon at them and that's why Chow fired. But they're the only people who say that. The other witnesses say they never saw anything in Cyrus's hand. And according to the prosecution's experts, Cyrus was shot in the back while he was running away. So how would he have been pointing a weapon that was on the ground that had fallen out of his pocket as he ran for his life? And a lot of people want to say, well, a 14-year-old had a weapon. That's the end of the story. Not guilty for Chow. Having a weapon, no matter what age, does not automatically mean someone gets to take your life. Is it a-okay hunky-dory that a 14-year-old had a weapon? No, but that is not the end of this case. I personally do not believe that he was pointing it at Chow or his son. I believe the witnesses that were there that didn't have a relative on the line for going to prison for this. Other people want to say, well, he may have put the water down, but he planned to steal. Planning to steal or even stealing should not be a death sentence. If he stole a bottle of water, which he did not, but even if he did, call the police. Put up a sign that says this kid stole a bottle of water, a basic.
No, the bottom line is when people say stuff like that, when people say, oh, he may not have stolen, but he planned to steal, that's just a racist dog giving an excuse. That's all that is. Just some racist devil trying to make an excuse, okay, to be against him. That's all it is, okay? Because if you didn't steal, that means you're not guilty. I don't care what you thought about doing, okay? And they don't have any proof that he thought about stealing anyway, okay? Maybe he just changed his mind and didn't want the water.
Necessity of life, and he's no longer allowed in this store. If a woman steals beer and peanuts, call the police. Put up a sign that says this woman stole beer and peanuts. She's not allowed in this store. If a man steals oven cleaner, put up a sign. Call the police. None of those things should be death sentences. And the fact that people are online saying, well, he intended to steal. Well, he had a weapon. You think that means a 14-year-old child should have died? I hope you'll really think about that. I just wanted to make sure everyone knows about the two previous shootings. The jury did not, and I have to wonder if that would have changed their opinion. But of course, since they were self-defense and Chow wasn't charged, of course the jury didn't know about it. I wonder what they'll think about it when they find out. Rest in peace to Cyrus Carmack Belton. Let me know if anything in this video changed your perspective at all.
Yeah, his third one. And let me tell you all something. Not only did he shoot at two other people, he shot one man in the leg and he shot at that woman's car 6 times. Wasn't charged in either of the two because he said the woman threatened his life. I don't believe that. Okay, I don't believe that. And even if she threatened your life, you weren't afraid, clearly, because you followed her outside of your gas station, firing at her 6 times. So was he frightened, even if she did threaten him? No. He said the same thing about the man that he shot. And then the man was charged because the man actually did steal something. But I'm sorry, are you supposed to shoot somebody because they shoplifted? Okay, something from a gas station? Like, how much could it have cost? Okay, probably with someone homeless. But with that all being said, it's just interesting how they just paint these narratives, honey, when it's a black person. Okay, Amy says, keep it up, 100% fact spoken. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Thank you for your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Oh, these stories are absolutely draining. Okay, let's go to some more clips of what people had to say. Hold on. Here we go. Their responses to this whole Rick Chow BS.
I'm gonna get my ass up out of here. Come on, the keys on the ground. Hey, somebody keys. Somebody keys.
Sometimes I think we need to bring back segregation, and other times I think, oh no, we just all need to come together. What has me thinking about these two polar opposite things is the Carmack and Chow case from North Carolina and how Chow was just found not guilty. I just think if the system can't get it right, then the streets should get it right.
I'm trying to figure out how 3 black men on that jury, a Rick Chow, know for the facts that that boy got chased 130 yards, equivalent to a football field, for a bottle of water he didn't have, shot in the back, and y'all went for that bullshit police story. He had a gun, he was gonna kill my son, and let that Asian motherfucker get away with murdering another young black boy. South Carolina, y'all crazy. I understand the 3 white people. I understand the white people on jury. South Carolina, they don't even want motherfucker to vote in that raggedy motherfucker. That's why I can't fuck with the South. I hate the motherfucking South. I'll never move to the South. You'll never hear me say, oh, I want to move to Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, none of them weak-ass bullshit, I hate black folks ass place. And y'all down there letting Asians kill motherfuckers after they done hunt him 130 yards and shot him in his back. How the fuck you ain't guilty? Y'all some new-ass black people down there. Y'all go for anything Massa say. That's some bullshit.
I ain't the one who deal with emotions and shit, right? But I just found out about Cyrus Carmack today. And it happened back in 2023. And when I read that story, when I first heard about the story, I was disgusted. When I read the story on Google, I became even more disgusted. That man got shot and killed. A 14-year-old child got shot and killed over a falsely accused water bottle. A falsely accused water bottle, y'all. That man know he ain't steal that water bottle, and you chased him down 100 some fucking yards. Over 100 yards, and you killed that baby and got away with it. Man, free every motherfucking body in SCDC, especially people from Columbia, South Carolina. They shouldn't even be locked the fuck up. Free Black Zach too. Fuck that death sentence, that death penalty shit you're trying to give out. They don't sit right with me, because that's not fair and that's not justice. How you think that man mama feel? Seeing a murderer gonna walk away with somebody murdering her child, and he ain't suffer no consequences? That motherfucker can't even go to Lee County Live and get his ass beat. That the fuck is scared of? That's why I train, I take care of my mind, I take care of my body, I take care of my fucking family. That's why. So algorithm, keep on pushing that shit in front of me. Because I'm going to show the world how to transmute that energy into something positive. We're going to train the mind. We're going to heal the body. As far as all this hate shit, we're going to stop that shit. Fuck being jealous of one another. Fuck hating a motherfucker. Any damn body. And that go for all fucking races across this goddamn planet. You don't want no fucking war with black people. The fuck wrong with y'all? You better cut that shit out. Niggas a new creator online. My name is Jara True. Now if you want to work out, I'm a new fitness architect, baby. So come on, we're gonna work out. We're gonna be killing each other and hating each other and shit. And when I'm in your city, I'm gonna be afraid to fucking say, hey, don't worry about it.
I don't care if he did point his weapon at the shop owner. I don't care if he pulled the trigger and dropped the shop owner. That's self-defense. If you're being chased by 3 people, one of which is armed, and you turn and take action to stop them from chasing you, that is self-defense. The people chasing don't get to use self-defense. They are the aggressors. They left their store with the doors that lock and the walls and the phone with the cops and their weapon behind the counter. And they took the weapon and they went out of the safety of all that to chase a child. If that child had turned and shot them, that would be self-defense. You can't be acting in self-defense and the other person also be acting in self-defense. That's not how it works. Who could possibly have been the aggressor in this situation? In a self-defense case, one person has to be initiating the violence and the other person has to be reacting in self-defense. Who do you think was acting as the aggressor and who was acting in self-defense? The person running, the group, the mob of people chasing the child with weapons, or the child turning and pointing the weapon? But in America, you don't get to be black and act in self-defense.
So my For You page is filled with black people talking about the Rick Chow verdict and the murder of Cyrus Belton. Now, I'm sure on some level that's just because my algorithm is feeding that to me. So I'm just putting this out there because I haven't seen it. Are there any Asian people? Are there any Asian people out there calling this nonsense out and holding their fucking community responsible for this behavior that's been going on for forever, right? It's not been a secret that the Asian community is considered a mono minority, and they've been doing this and treating us this way since forever. So yeah, please, where the Asian community, if we can get this to the Asian community, what are y'all doing? What are you doing to make sure this type of shit does not happen again?
Attention Asian Americans, in reference to Rick Chow, that is not a win. Murdering a kid for picking up 4 bottles, putting them back, realizing I don't want this, and walking out the store, not a win. No, murdering a kid is not a win. And no, Asians should not be defending Rick dipshit. No, you should be sending donations and condolences. Like, I don't know why you're so quiet. Asians should not be saying, thank God he's not guilty. We should be saying justice for Cyrus Carmack Belton. Correct yourself.
I need to be 100% clear on this. A white boy can take a gun across state lines, antagonize people who live in the city he brought the gun to, kill one of them, and that's self-defense. But it's also self-defense to chase down a kid for over a football field with a gun in your hand. And because you claim he pointed a gun.
And think about how far that is that they chased him, the length of a darn football field. Okay, think about that.
At you after you chased him down with a gun. It's self-defense to shoot him in the back. over a crime that did not happen, that you had every ability to make sure it did not happen if you had just used your security system, going against every precedent set by retailers beforehand. Walmart is liable for the police chasing a kid and him breaking his leg, but these people are not liable for killing a kid that they chased down while armed. That's the most fuck-ass, stupid-ass shit I've ever fucking heard in my life. Personally, I don't see how that's justice. I don't think anybody else does either. Because it's not. Chasing somebody for 133 yards with a gun is not self-defense. I know this because my mother had a coworker who was sentenced to death in Oklahoma because a man was waving around a gun at one of his friends. This man went out to his car, grabbed a gun, and came back to the argument and shot that other guy. And the guy who went and grabbed the gun was sentenced to death because that was not self-defense.
Did you all hear that? Now, he said that he knows that's not justice because his mother's friend went out and got a gun because someone was waving a gun around at somebody. He goes to his car, gets his gun, comes back, shoots and kills the guy. He got a death sentence. Okay, please pay attention.
You left the situation. You could have left the situation. That trial was a sham. That should be a mistrial because every single one of those jurors walked in there with no intention of bringing justice to a young black child who was hunted down and murdered after a whole fucking football field worth of being chased with a gun.
A darn shame. Such a darn shame. You know, prayers and condolences, like I said, to Cyrus Carmack Belton. My condolences to his family. That is also sad. No level of justice, but they are going to sue and they are going to win. Okay, because they're likely suing for wrongful death. With that all being said, he's going to have to pay one way or another. Now, they sold that gas station, and they likely sold the gas station because nobody was coming there anymore, but also because they likely needed money for his defense. Okay, because those murder trials are very expensive. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. I'll see you all back in the morning with your morning wake-up call. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening. Does that say Miss B Greer? I don't have my glasses on, beloved. It says, thank you for your coverage, Queen. Hearing there were black jurors is confusing. Sellouts. Exactly. I mean, 5 of them. Almost half of the jury pool. Okay, almost half of the jurors were black. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I had no idea. Okay, so thank you for your insight, beloved. I appreciate you. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so listen, I'll see you all in the morning. Okay, I'll be on at about 9 o'clock. If you don't get the notifications, check the channel or check my community tab. Okay, also I posted on Twitter. With that all been said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Sold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the high hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got